Hey, what's up guys? Jeff here with Godbold Exotics. Wanted to do kind of a tutorial today about probing snakes. I'm here with Luke Meyers, and Luke has some really nice chondros. As you guys know, I kept chondros exclusively for several years way back when. So I thought it would be kind of nice, he needed some help, so he brought his animals over, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a tutorial about how to probe these animals and what I do. This is what works for me. It's not necessarily the only way to do it, but I know that especially with chondros, and there's some other species out there, folks are a little intimidated about probing and how to do it. So hopefully this might put some of the worries at ease. So first thing is picking out your probe. A lot of folks want to go with something with a ball on the end of it, or something that's kind of a little bit thicker. They try to gauge the girth of the animal based off of the probe. I don't like to do that. You have to look, the way I look at it is path of least resistance. So the smaller the probe, the less the animal's going to feel it, the less the animal's going to stress out, and the less, I'm going to have to force something into the vent. So I try to go with the smallest one that they have. Whatever probe set I'm looking at. This is actually Luke's probe set. So Luke has one that's pretty tiny, and this should work really well. And I would even use this probe on an older animal. So these animals are not that large, but even the larger ones, I would still use this type of a probe, this size.
Cool, so this is from a joint pairing between Vita Sirach and Sean Beck. It is a Calico outcross to an Arubiac. So it's pretty cool. I think the female Rhea was produced by, if I remember correctly, Buddy Buscemi and Mark Spataro. They all do display some form of melanism on them. I'm gonna guess she's a female. We'll see what happens.
What we're gonna do first while he holds the animal is I'm gonna pull out a snake sack, because I like to, again, minimize stress on the animal. If the animal can't see, A, that's gonna take care of some of the stress, and B, I'm not gonna have to worry about getting bit. We're gonna take the snake sack. Let's go ahead and put the animal in there. Now this works for any species. This is what I do for any species that I'm probing. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it up, and I wanna let the animal crawl in there a little bit till about maybe a third is out. So I'm gonna hold the tail like so, all right? So we've got a little bit out. I can control it. I'm pinching it gently with my fingers. So it's gentle. You don't want to force it. So that is looking female. I'm going to probe the other side. You always want to probe both sides of the vent. She is letting me have it. Or he or it. Right now, I think you may be right. I'm thinking female. So we're going to be gentle. Slide it into this other side. Kind of wiggle it, let it kind of go in there naturally. So you can count the scales. Females are going to probably be less than 5 scales deep. Again, guys, I'm going to be really gentle with the animal. I don't want to force anything. That's the biggest thing you want to make sure you're not doing is forcing. Now she's kind of pushing out. So if there was hemipenes, I would actually think that the hemipenes would be averted at this point, but.
So this one right here is actually probably one of my favorites. This one was produced by a joint pairing between John Irby and Ben Evans, and it was sired by Soul Train. So if you like melanistic chondros, I mean, Soul Train's pretty awesome. He's a red dominant. He's sired so many clutches. He's pretty old now too. He's just a rock star in my opinion. So to have some of his genetics, I was just, so excited. Also, what's pretty cool is the grandsire, or granddam, or grandsire is related to my other one over there, my my one from Christian Stewart at the barn. So it could be cool to get some line breeding that's not too closely related, but a little down the line.
So same technique. We got a different sack, so we're gonna put this one in here.
I'm guessing now.
Well, once I probe it, you will know for sure the difference.
You'll see it instantly?
Yeah, if it is a male. Sometimes males clinch up, but for the most part, they're not too bad. Oop, there we go. Again, guys, I'm being super gentle. That is a male.
Baby boy.
So one thing, you just kind of wiggle the probe and it will slide down until it hits the end of the vent, or I guess the hemipene, so to speak, if there is a hemipene. So I'm not really forcing it, I'm just kind of wiggling it, and the more the animal animal will relax a little bit sometimes, but usually naturally it will slide in there. For a male you're gonna see something like this. It could even be deeper, but a female you're gonna see, just 3 to 5 scales. That's about as deep as it's gonna go. So this one is in fact a male. We'll go ahead and take him out.
Alright, so this right here is my pride and joy. It was produced at the barn by Christian Stewart and James Updahl. I hope I'm saying your last name right. But it was a joint pairing of Sirac and Lagertha. I think that's how you say it. It's spelled kind of weird.
Lagertha?
Lagertha. It's
off
like
of Vikings?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I've never known the name. Sirac is so awesome. He was produced from Crazy Pertolucci, and if you like chondros, you know who Crazy is. I think some of his genetics have gone on to produce some amazing snakes. So yeah, this is my crown jewel. She's 3 years old and just still holding on to all that black. It might be kind of hard to see in this light, but if you take her out in the sun, I mean, she's got blue all over her. So yeah, she's a special one for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying female. Trying the other side. So you want to probe both sides, remember guys. Kind of wiggle it around a little bit. Nothing too crazy. If I count that, that's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 scales. Both sides multiple times, so I'd say this is a female as well. You got lucky, dude.
I got lucky.
1.2.
I've heard people, they get like 4, and I bought them all unsexed red neos, so I got really lucky.
Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up. Probing is not something to be scared of. It is something that takes practice. It's a little bit of an art, but it's not something that you need to shy away from. If you are going to be breeding and selling snakes, you really need to learn how to probe your animals, because people are going to want to know what the sex is, especially if they're older. They're not going to want to buy an animal that's unsexed at 2 or 3 years old. So it's not hard. I would say reach out to maybe your local herpetological society, or maybe a local reptile keeper that has a little more experience, and they can teach you the ropes about how to probe. Once you do it a few times, you start to learn, and every species is a little bit different, but there are some things that carry over across the board regardless of what species you're probing. So it's not that difficult, but it is an art. Learn it. Practice makes perfect. Make sure you have somebody there with you that is experienced while you're going through this trial phase. And then just start trying it out on your animals. You just don't force anything. But hopefully the method I use today will make it a little bit easier. It seems like the 2 big things that keep people from probing animals is that they're scared, they don't want to get bit. I guess 3 things, and the third thing is that they don't have a second set of hands there. So you can get around all of those things if you use a sack and you go through and kind of try to adapt maybe the method that I showed you, or maybe you have your own method. Again, it's not the only way to do it. It's just something that works for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want. You can reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram. Make sure you like, subscribe. Until next time, you've been watching Godbold Exotics.
Yeah, cool.